road rage, a loaded gun, and a '95 Ford Ranger versus a full-size F-150. What starts as a reckless traffic encounter explodes into a terrifying highway confrontation that ends with bullets flying. Meet Jason Giovanni, the defendant, who admits to firing his weapon during a high-speed chase. But was it self-defense, panic, or pure road fury? This courtroom drama peels back the layers of fear, escalation, and decisions made in a split second with lives at stake. Stay locked in, because this case, it's a masterclass in how a moment of rage can derail your entire future.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Jason Giovanni Bustos.
All right, defense.
Jason, you admitted when you were here, and you admitted to probation that you shot your gun at this other person, correct?
Yes.
And this had to do with on a road, you and another vehicle were playing jockey back and forth, correct?
Yes.
And I want to make sure the other vehicle was an F-150 Ford pickup.
Yes.
And you had a '95 Ford Ranger, correct?
Yes.
Forestry.
Yes.
And you felt threatened by, is that what you felt threatened by the actions of your driver?
Yes.
You know now, when you carry guns, things like this can happen. You can overreact. You understand that that's not very smart, right?
Yes.
That's not a smart thing. You overreacted.
Yes.
Have you learned a lesson?
I did.
You think that you could be successful on probation?
Yes.
A lot of reporting, drug testing, fines to pay, community service, maybe some gun safety classes. Think you can be successful in that?
Yes.
You have a drug problem?
I do not.
Pass a witness.
All right, any questions?
Right here, Jason admits to firing a weapon during a moving road conflict. And this isn't a mystery. He openly confesses to overreacting. The court now faces a tough question. Can someone who's honest about making a mistake still be trusted to handle probation and reintegrate safely into society? His demeanor is calm, even remorseful. But is remorse enough when you fired a gun in public traffic? Let's not forget, this isn't just bad behavior, it's potentially deadly. Viewers, what do you think? Does honesty mitigate recklessness when lives are on the line?
Mr. Bustos, so you stated that you felt threatened by the other drivers on crashed,
Yes.
but the encounter that you had with them, it wasn't a short encounter, right? It went on for several miles, correct?
Yes.
And so at any time during that period where you guys are going back and forth with each other, did you ever think to call 911 and to report that you were going to drive the behavior of this other individual?
I did not have a phone at the time.
Okay.
Present.
And so, I mean, there are multiple streets where you could turn off or just went into a business and park. Did you do any of that?
No, there was heavy traffic during the whole entire incident.
Okay.
My first thought would be going towards the HEV that was right across from the highway, and I couldn't make it across due to just traffic flowing through.
Okay. And so there was heavy traffic in the area for testimony. So the way that you can reconcile this is to fire a firearm twice. That was your reaction, right?
That was after when I got away from the heavy traffic.
Okay.
Here's where the story starts to twist. Jason claims he was trying to escape danger, yet admits the confrontation went on for miles. When asked why he didn't turn off, pull into a business, or find safety, he blames traffic. But then we hear he had enough room to fire twice. That's not just self-defense, that's escalation. And the DA jumps on it. This is classic courtroom unraveling. When the timeline starts to blur, so does credibility. Viewers, be honest. If you were truly afraid, would you fire or flee? Let us know in the comments.
So why didn't you choose to get away from the other vehicle if you felt threatened by that?
I did try to get away from the vehicle.
But then you had still followed them and shot.
I didn't follow them.
Did
He,
not follow that?
no, I was being followed the whole entire time.
Okay. But in the stipulated evidence, it says that the other Ford was taking the turnaround, right, when you fired into the vehicle, correct?
No.
So, okay, tell me about that.
When I took the turnaround, there was an HEV. The entrance to that HEV was very close to the turnaround. So instead of proceeding, I decided to go straight. When I went straight to the first light, I decided to go on a right-hand turn lane, and I noticed that the truck was still following me. Once I noticed that, and I checked my rearview mirror, he was already trying to try to jump over the curb to get to where I was headed towards, and I was trying to avoid just a confrontation from him. So instead, I proceeded to go straight. When I got off the right hand turn lane, I went straight when the light turned green to the other light, and I didn't even make it halfway until I almost got into an accident just from trying to drive away. My truck stalled, and that's when I noticed the driver was still proceeding and started tailgating, driving recklessly, maneuvering through cars through the traffic that I left behind. So from there, he caught up to me, and that's when I got scared and overreacted.
Okay. And so I want you to help me understand this, because in your interview that you gave with Detective Grant, it says that he stated that during some of the swerving that you catched up to the other Ford, and that's when the truck slowed down and tried to cut you off. And then
That was in the highway.
that's when you exited and took the turnaround, and then that's when you shot into the other truck. So on the highway, if you had an opportunity to catch up to him, why didn't you just go somewhere else? Did you think that your response was reasonable to shoot into his vehicle?
No, it wasn't.
Let me follow up. I'm well familiar with the location. I live out there. When you exited at the Leon Springs exit,
Yes.
Bernie Stage Road. When you exited there to do the turnaround, it's up a ways, and there's no place to turn off. It's a service road. It's very heavily trafficked. And you make the turnaround, there's an HEB on the right-hand side, but there's like 3 lanes there when you do the turnaround.
Now we're getting forensic. The judge walks through the exact layout of the road. Lanes, access points, turnarounds. Why? Because location can prove or disprove intent. Jason's car was outmatched, a 4-cylinder, Ranger versus a powerful F-150. He says he couldn't escape due to traffic, but the judge is hinting at something deeper. If Jason had time to maneuver into position and fire, maybe he wasn't just a scared driver. Maybe he was an angry one. This moment turns the courtroom from emotional drama into a tactical analysis. Ever felt boxed in during traffic? Would your choices hold up under this kind of scrutiny?
There were 2 or 3 lanes to be able to pull into HEB.
Yeah.
Correct. There's too much traffic. There always is, like service rate. Correct. So you continue straight. Is that correct? And your truck is a Ford Ranger, a 4-cylinder.
Yes.
When they're talking about catching up with the individual, she brought up, did you accelerate to try to catch up?
I accelerated.
What did you mean by trying to catch up? Or catching up with them?
What happened was, as we were driving forward
On 10.
he left it alone. I left it alone. I didn't do anything about it. There's no reason for me to catch up. I can't even catch up.
No, yeah, I understand.
Not against with the truck that has 8 cylinders against a Ford 4-cylinder truck. Anyway, I noticed from about a quarter mile, he's already tailgating another vehicle, but then again he starts to pull back dramatically.
Okay. What do you mean by you caught up with him? What do you mean?
I mean,
were you trying to catch up with him?
I wasn't trying to.
The flow of traffic, you ended up getting ahead of him.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, so
Judge,
this
I may
is,
just say this one thing,
yes.
if I may.
Well, just 1 second, because I want something cleared up for me. In the report, I'm reading the synopsis, and this is what the synopsis says in the stipulations. It says that the complainant was in his personally owned vehicle. The suspect was in his vehicle, and the suspect began to brake check him on the interstate. I understand brake checking people because sometimes people are riding your bumper. I understand that. I think it's crazy to do that, but I understand why people brake check, say, hey, quit riding my bumper. So that's not the problem for the court, that you were brake checking him. It says that the complainant decided to pass you and continue on his way. So what the synopsis so far is saying is that you were brake checking him, I guess, because he was riding his bumper. And then the complainant decides, you know what, I'm just going to pass this guy. So it says that he passes you, then you caught up to him, pulled up next to him, didn't fire your weapon, but exhibited your weapon to him, and then got in front of the complainant and started brake checking him again. That's where I have a problem. I can understand you're driving. Maybe the speed limit is 60. Sometimes people will be in what's called the fast lane on the freeway, and they're going below the speed limit, which is a no-no. But let's say the speed limit is 60, you're going 50 or 55, who cares? You're going less than whatever. Or maybe this person is speeding behind you.
This is where the case hits maximum intensity. The court walks through a disturbing sequence: brake checking, pulling a weapon, being filmed, and then firing. Not once, but twice. This isn't just reckless driving, it's deadly conduct. Brandishing a gun, especially after the first encounter ended, is a legal red flag. There was time to cool off, to disengage. Instead, it escalated. The complainant didn't pull a weapon, he pulled a phone. That contrast, it's damning. And here's a chilling thought. What if there were kids in the car? This courtroom isn't just seeking justice, it's sending a message.
Fired it.
Only on the second time.
Okay, so then you brandished it more than one time. What the synopsis is saying, and don't feel that you have to agree with me, I'm just saying what's in the synopsis. What the synopsis is saying is you brake checked him. And then after you brake checked him, he went around you and passed you. You brandished a weapon. You didn't fire it. He gets upset that you're brandishing a weapon. So then he starts following you and filming you. And then you all meet up and you fire bullets into his vehicle. So is that not true? Is that not what happened?
Yes, Your Honor, that is what happened.
All right. If it's not what happened, just tell me. I'm here trying to figure out what the appropriate sentence is. But I do have a problem if you're brandishing a weapon at somebody, right? And then later you brandish it again. There's a gap in time for tempers to cool. And then you brandish it again and you fire into a vehicle. Did you know how many people were in that vehicle? What if there were children in that vehicle? In their car seats, because you really can't see when babies are in car seats. People could have been killed. And then if you would have been a good shot and you would have killed him, maybe he would have crashed in other vehicles and somebody else would be dead. So you wanted to say something, Counselor? Is there any other questions for him?
No, just something, an argument.
Sure.
Two things. One is 95 Ford Ranger. My wife, although she drives a new car, has a 96 Ford Ranger, 6-cylinder. She uses for hauling plants, shrubbery, rocks, dirt. Ford Ranger does not have a lot of pickup. Well, it has a limited speed it will go. An F-150, it doesn't have a lot of acceleration. An F-150 has got a lot of acceleration. So we've got a small car and a large car. I don't know what happened, but I'm saying there's a difference there. And the 150 ought not be picking on the smaller guy, if in fact that was what he was doing. Second off is, there's questions about why don't you call the police. I don't want my wife going down H10 and getting off on the service road going at 50 and 60 miles an hour getting on his cell phone and making a phone call.
Oh, well, what I can tell you, counsel, the whole thing about calling the police, that's not the big issue for the court.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, okay.
And I think he understands what he made a mistake. Also, I think he's had some mental health issues. He took medicine. They got him back on medicines in the jail. He has no prior criminal record. He had a job. He was productive before this happened. There's nothing in the record that says this would be a reoccurring type thing that I can see. Once he's learned a lesson, give him a chance on probation. I'm asking the court to give him a chance on probation.
For years in prison, a fine of $2,000, a clear ruling of deadly weapon involvement, and the judge says it straight. There will be no probation. The defense tried hard. They spoke about Jason's clean record, his steady job, and even the mental health treatment he was getting. But the truth of the case spoke louder than words. Guns are not tools for solving problems. They are not meant for anger or for road rage. When you bring out a gun in traffic and pull the trigger, there is always a price to pay. The judge did show some mercy. He offered a program for therapy and treatment, but the judgment itself was strict, final, and filled with consequences.
He decided to engage and brandish his weapon one time and then fire it twice into that truck. And, we lucky that we didn't have better in because we would be here for a different charge if that were the case. And so for those reasons, we're asking this.
All right. Is there any objection to the restitution of $250 to the complainant for his deductible?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. I'll ask for the therapeutic community based on the mental health. And I do understand, based from reading the synopsis, what was going on with both parties. And there was bad behavior on both sides. But Mr. Giovanni, this is not a probation case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's been no contact with the complainant, and $250 to the restitution to the complainant. So I gave you something less than what the state requested because of the facts of your case. You're going to have to get a control of your anger, and you have to start making better decisions. A gun should not be the answer to every issue that comes up. All right. Good luck to you.
And he gets credit for time served, right?
Yes.
It's a current thing to do this. You'll be eligible for parole after 1 half. You get credit for the time you're going to.
Thank you.
So what did we learn? A moment of panic or poor judgment led Jason Giovanni to pull the trigger twice in a crowded traffic scenario. The judge gave him for years a middle ground between accountability and an opportunity for rehabilitation. But here's the bottom line. Fear doesn't justify force, especially when you're the one holding the weapon. This courtroom reminded us that I was scared doesn't erase responsibility. If you found this case as jaw-dropping as we did, hit that like button, share your take in the comments, and subscribe for more real courtroom drama where legal lessons hit harder than the gavel.